Hi, besties.
What up, what up, what up, everybody?
Happy Monday. It's your girl. That's what I say to my kids, actually. It's your girl, mommy girl.
That's
I like
right.
Amanda. Nice to see you on this Monday.
Best day of the week.
Best day of the week. It's after the
Day of the week.
draft. We're here. Night 2 is sort of complete, sort of not. So we'll try to keep an eye on that. The chat can let us know. Let me know the breaking news updates so I'll know if there's things I'm supposed to be doing in life.
Yeah, I got Corey Brennan from Fightful. His Twitter is up, and I am just
Okay.
waiting for updates. He was the one
Yes.
that broke the news that there was more announcements for more draft picks from NXT.
Oh, good. I'm glad to
So,
hear that. That's very good.
yeah,
I'm so emotionally attached to NXT. I'm very
I am
excited
too.
about the people that Raw has picked up. Let us know. Let us know in this chat over here. Let
That's
us
right.
know send in your slam chats. I thought I had it so that I wouldn't lose it. What do I say again? I do it wrong every time.
Send in those
Body
slam chats.
slam chats.
Slamchats.com.
Slamchats. That is slamchats.com. Why can't I remember the easiest thing? Slamchats.com. Let's go.
You'll get
Um,
it. You'll get it next
yeah.
week.
I need to know how my eyebrows are doing. So
MD pops up.
whenever my bestie arrives, he can let me
That's right.
know. I always think about him now when I do my eyebrows. I'm like, oh, I gotta make sure they're not too goofy. He'll let me know. So tonight was the second night of the draft. Yeah, I'm pleased to be talking about this night rather than Friday night. I feel like Friday night I was kind of like, what did I just watch? Like that was not it was a little underwhelming, I would
Mhm.
say. But this tonight there's some more shaking up for sure. I have a highlight. I have something I'm actually really excited about. So but I can ask you first, what's
Oh, I
your
thought you were
favorite
going first.
movement?
So not a whole lot in terms of like actual Monday Night Raw tonight. Admittedly, like all I cared about was the draft.
Yeah,
I know we got a pay per view coming up on Saturday. Um, but I
right.
gotta be real with you and all the other besties watching. My interest was in the draft, and I probably wasn't the only one. So
Right.
with that being said, my highlight was Lyra Valkyria being
Oh, that's so
drafted from
exciting.
NXT to Monday Night Raw. Let's go.
That is exciting. She looked so genuinely like shocked and excited too. Those NXT call ups are something that I have seen. I thought I saw a couple people say it, but like they should just make a special out of that. I
Hmm.
would watch that for 2 solid hours of
Yeah.
just like randomly telling us their backstories too. Cause I think sometimes a little bit of that gets a bit lost in the shuffle. I think it's kind of a fun time to have a bit of like a little bit of a character addition or a character shift. I feel like I noticed that Kiana James made a point to say that she was in the top 1%. So I feel
Hmm.
like her gimmick will like spin a little more like rich evil woman because she's been like evil businesswoman, but it's never been explicitly like I'm rich. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I think now she might be taking that as a little bit of a pivot, which will be fun. Um, yeah, I would love to see. I'm excited about more NXT call-ups. That's always something that it's so exciting. It's so exciting. And Andre Chase had like such a cute outfit on that I was like, oh my god, I want to see Chase U get called up. You have like a nice Chase U suit. Like, where'd you get a Chase U suit? Uh
It's from his
yeah.
gambling. He
Lexus King in
gambles.
the front row keeps cracking me up because I know he's just hamming it up, like pretending that he thinks he's getting called. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's he's not genuinely like it's me and then it's not, you know what I mean? But he keeps like his reactions are so funny. I like just NXT is so fun. There's so many good possibilities. So no matter who gets called up to Monday Night Raw, we will be in for a treat. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's see. How do I see what's going on in the world? I don't actually know how to check. Yeah, just let us know. Let us know what you think. Okay, the thing I was so excited about, two things actually. That my number one draft thing that I was very excited about
Yeah.
was that they split up Legado del Fantasma and
Oh,
LWO because I'm very much done with it. And I still I don't mean to be horrible, but I don't feel like I got the match out of it that I wanted still. So somehow these folks feuded for seemingly endless amount of time, and I still didn't really see what I wanted to see. I think I wanted to see a mixed tag with the girls, and I also wanted to see I think that was what I was hoping to get out of it. But whatever, it's okay. So there's a little bit of a hanging mystery in that Carlito is going with the LWO. So we'll have to see how that shakes out.
We got breaking news too, right here.
Go.
Right here, right now. Monday Night Besties, we're breaking the news. Monday Night Raw has a new addition from NXT, the one and only Dijak.
Oh, that's so exciting.
To Monday Night Raw.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Reported by Corey Brennan from Fightful.
I love Dijak so much. And Raw is an amazing place for him to be. Oh my God. Dijak and Drew McIntyre. Dijak, CM Punk. Can you imagine? I want to see them still mixing it up on the microphone immediately. Okay. Let us know what you have to think. That's very good breaking news. The NXT one is written, so I'm good with that. Hopefully that sounds good. That one makes me feel less nervous. Yeah, so it's very exciting that I was excited to see them get broken up because that was something that I was looking forward to. And then the other thing I was pretty excited about was that I feel like Mystic Hendricks over here was completely and totally cued in to something that a lot of us missed, at least. I don't feel like I saw that as a popular point of discourse. Usually there's talking points. I don't engage in a lot of podcastery though, so it's possible I missed it. But right after the show last week, you said I just felt like Liv was coming for it all. She was going to take everything from Rhea. And in the background of one of the scenes tonight, who was in the foreground talking? Was it Jay?
It was Jay, yeah.
Yeah, it was Jay doing that interview segment, but there was so behind Jay in the hallway, there's a very clear, and I don't believe these things are mistakes anymore. I don't, because the way that WWE is kind of operating nowadays. Oh, that reminds me. I missed a QR code thing. Okay, well, I have something to do after this anyhow. So yes, there's so many things going on in Monday Night Raw. And so Liv Morgan walked out of a locker room, kind of, you don't know what room it is. It's just a room, but she walks out, and then within 25 seconds, Dominic also walks out of the same room, and I just was like, oh my gosh, you really know, you really were cued into that situation. She is coming for it all. She's gonna take your man too while you're gone. I did doubt you, I'll be honest. I was like, oh, I don't think they're gonna put Dom in another romance storyline. He's married, we all know, the code is cracked kind of a thing. But that's not particularly a romance storyline. That's just your man's a cheater. So that doesn't take that much effort. Happens to the best of us.
And it is perfect. It's the reason I predicted that is deeper than just what Liv said, saying that she's going to take everything. I said it because, the week, even a couple weeks before that, remember I said I thought Rhea and Dom outgrew each other.
Yes.
So it's perfect timing. It's at the same. It's just like any relationship, right? If anybody remembers, if you date in your 20s or even late teens or even now, hey, everybody has different stages in life of dating, but we've all, I think, can admit we've had that time where you kind of outgrow someone, right? You kind of feel look, we just, we were great at one point, but I think we are, at least one of us is outgrew the other. And so it's real life. I think this is, I felt it a few weeks before it happened. And then unfortunately, you can't predict an injury. You can't predict Rhea going down, but perfect writing by Triple H and the rest of the WWE writers, because this is a great way to add a little bit even more steam to Liv Rhea when Rhea comes back. And then eventually I see Liv getting the title from Becky. And then so it's just, hey, this is just the beginning. I told y'all, buckle up. It's going to be a ride, one hell of a ride. And Liv is going to start with her and Dom. And they didn't show us that for no reason. They know what they're doing. That was obviously done on purpose.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's only the beginning. I think we're going to see a little bit more next week.
I'm excited about that. I love the things that play out in the background. I genuinely appreciate too that there's kind of that attention to detail that if you want to be watching it closely, you can. But if you also just like have it on, like if this wasn't my job, if I wasn't actually watching it that deeply and I just kind of had it on while I was cooking, I still would hit the highlights of the storylines, even if I'm missing like QR codes and like background scenes and things. So it's a very rare form of entertainment that it provides depth based on the level to which you want to engage as a consumer of the media. That's something that I don't know that we have in other. I mean, usually like the more I think of things like Westworld was kind of complicated. You know, there's other TV series that are quite dense if you really want to dive into lore, you want to get really invested in like overall what's going on. I guess the 90 Day Fiance universe. Let me tell you, there's reporters, there's like dirt sheets of 90 Day Fiasco. I didn't even know these things. I was like, oh wow, this is a whole new. There's cottage industries all over the place. Couldn't even believe it. I want to say hi to the besties. Oh my gosh, thank you. They are just leaders. Like honestly, I could take them off. Like I see really bad. My vision is getting horrible. And yeah, but thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate that you're here. Teresa's here. I always get excited to see Teresa. I like it when I see new names, but I remember you from before, Teresa. You're not a new name. You're a bestie.
That's right.
I am so excited as well. Yeah, I do think that there is a solid depth for the Raw women's division. I also feel like they created a huge depth for the tag team division for the women on SmackDown, which makes me feel like, no offense, but like spoiler alert, I think we kind of knew what was going to happen at Backlash, but I do think that definitely the draft movements made it abundantly clear. I think we're getting new tag team champions. So if someone wants to tweet me at _Amanda Savage, teach me how to do sports betting so that I can make some coin this weekend on that. That'd be great. I need some diapers. You know what I mean? So, but that seems like an easy bet that Jade and Bianca are probably taking home those tag team titles at Backlash. Yeah, so there's so many other exciting things. Is there anybody, I mean, there's so many from NXT I wanted to come up, to be honest. So it's not like I can even say who did it. You know, like it's a shorter list of who I didn't expect.
To continue with what Teresa was saying, right? So like last week before the draft even started, we were kind of predicting or at least like saying what we hope would happen. And that was, if anyone remembers, anyone watched last week's show, that was my number one thing.
Yeah.
A women's division needed revamped in Raw badly. And I was so thankful that we have. So, and remember, do you remember who I picked first? You might not remember who I picked first. So you asked me who would I pick? And it was Io Sky.
Oh, that's right.
So
yes.
Let's go. Again, like you guys got to watch this show. We tell you, right? Like that's why we're here. We got this. But I just, I looked at this roster on Raw for the women and I'm like, dire need for help. Like, and then I got a little bit nervous when Nia went to SmackDown on Friday. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, we better get something tonight because Raw didn't get a whole lot on night one. And honestly, nothing really happened on night one. Let's be real. Night one was a dud. Like literally all we got was Kiana coming to Raw from NXT and Carmelo going to SmackDown and Nia Jax going to SmackDown. Everything else pretty much stayed pat. So tonight was very much needed. I think it added some much needed steam. Even tonight started slow though. Like tonight even started, I'm like, first couple rounds, I'm like, okay, so when is the excitement going to happen? Because so far, this is nothing. So I was very thrilled with the way things happen. And NXT is just, while a lot of people are leaving, it's just creating opportunities for more people on NXT.
Definitely. There is, I do think there's a lot of fun movement. I'm a little, who's next for Damian Priest?
It was Jay this Saturday, but we'll see.
I just wonder what goes on with that.
Yeah.
And just kind of where we shake out because we still have, I feel like SmackDown picked up some pretty solid like singles guys, right? Didn't
Mhm.
Shinsuke Nakamura switched over to SmackDown? It just, yeah.
Yeah, so
It's been
let's have a little
interesting.
fun with that. So like if anyone watches like drafts, like NBA draft or NFL draft that just happened, like we usually talk winners and losers from drafts. So like which brand do you think had the better draft? And so I'm looking at both rosters and like I hate to be biased, but I think it's Monday Night Raw. Like I think we came out on top. I think the women's division got much stronger, a lot more depth. I mean, we got the entire Damage Control, first of all, which
Yeah,
even
that's a
if they
lot.
split up, those are all 4 women that could contend for that title, like
That's
legit.
very true.
So that's one. And then that doesn't even include, Kiana James and Lyra Valkyria. Like I'm with it 100%. I think Monday Night Raw came out on top. You got NXT people, Ilya Dragunov, who a lot of people are expecting to take Giovanni Vinci's spot in Imperium. We'll see if that happens. You got Dijak from NXT coming. A lot of excitement with Monday Night Raw right now, and not, pretty much the rest stayed pat. You still got Judgment Day. So when Rhea comes back, she's still on Monday Night Raw. You still have Liv. I got Raw on top.
I mean, I do think Raw's poised to have a lot of these big feuds that we think about over the next year, right? Like, I can see us easily talking about Drew McIntyre and CM Punk for 6 to 8 months. I can see us still talking about Damian Priest and Jay. I mean, I feel like they're finding kind of new, interesting things going on. Where did Logan Paul settle up? Did Logan Paul get drafted somewhere?
Yeah, so one thing I really didn't like with this year's draft is the when it just took so much excitement out of it, in my opinion.
Oh, that the champions stayed
Yeah,
on their
I
shows.
hated
That's
that.
right.
I
And I
hated it.
also keep forgetting. So I've been so confused half of the
It was the
time. Yeah,
dumbest
okay.
rule. It took out so much excitement. Took out so much of it.
That also immediately broke my heart because then I knew that Raw lost Cody and then I was like sort of
Yep.
butthurt for the whole first night.
That's
Like,
honestly,
I don't care
Amanda.
about this.
Honestly, that's probably the only reason they did that.
just to let the crybabies get it out,
Just let the
honey.
crybabies
Let
go.
the
They're going to
crybabies cry.
SmackDown.
You gotta
Like, get
just
them out of
let us
here.
go.
That's
Throw
probably
a
why they did it.
tantrum. I mean, it's probably close to the truth. Um, let's see who. Yeah, hi
What's
Jeffrey's
up, Jeff?
here.
What's
I
going
got
on, Jeff?
confused for a second, but then I realized you're talking about Giovanni Vinci. I don't think he's deceased. I don't think he's muerta. I think he'll be back at some
Yeah, I
point.
don't think he's
Um,
dead. But
Although speaking of that, I do wish that the family had been called up because I like it when they have just mysterious murder storylines. And sometimes it would just be funny to me that somebody's gonna just get written off by getting thrown over a bridge. Um yeah, no family just yet. We'll keep our eyes peeled to the streets though, just in case there's late breaking developments. Um, yeah, it was a fun night. There was wrestling. People like watch the clock. I haven't seen anything, so I don't know if there was a marked lack of wrestling. But I do think on a nights such as these, it makes sense that you would have less in-ring things going on because this is a very storyline heavy night. But that being said, there wasn't an influx of backlash go home, you know?
yeah,
I don't know that I continue to forget that is happening so quickly, I suppose. There was wrestling. There
there
was
was wrestling.
but this is the insightful commentary that you come to for me. Or you come to me for only. But it did seem like, sometimes I think about that, like, because I care more about the storyline aspects, that sometimes the shows I love, I notice that like the zeitgeist does not. And I'm always like, oh, oops, because things that I tend to be a little bit opposite. So yeah, I think it was a really fun show. I think the draft is a fun concept. It's possible that it could have been I don't know how you can shake it up because a draft is how it goes. But I do think that the champion piece made it a little bit predictable in that way. And then there
It did.
wasn't too many moves, but the moves that happened were meaningful. And that was nice. Um,
My only thing with it is what happened to NXT. Like
I did think that I
I
thought we were going all which way from Sunday.
thought
I
so
did
too.
think
What
that
happened to
we
that? Like that's my only question. Like their color is literally even the draft. It's in the draft logo.
Yeah.
So like, and nothing's been announced that anything's going to be on spring breaking tomorrow. Like I haven't seen anything.
No, that's true. Yeah,
So
I
I'm
think there was
hoping.
like some plot holes. There were some holes here.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's all it's missing. All three brands included. I think NXT should be involved in this draft as well because like there's some people that weren't even drafted. Like Apollo Crews wasn't drafted, and I honestly like if we're going off last year when pretty much everyone that was undrafted was a free agent. Look at that list. I mean, you're talking from last year. You got Von Wagner, Dolph Ziggler, um, Mustafa Ali. Like, not a good list you want to be on. So
no.
hopefully that's not the case this time. Hopefully, I would be cool with Apollo going back to NXT. I think Giovanni Vinci going back to NXT makes sense. So hopefully that's the route we go. But I don't know
I
what they're
wonder
gonna
if
do. But
they
I would
struggle
want
with
all
that.
three.
I wonder if that's a struggle, like publicly announcing it, like if it would seem like a demotion or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it's
Yeah, I was
confusing.
thinking about that.
I did expect that like Ava would be having like for some reason I don't know, like no one told me this, but I thought that like Ava would have a war room too. And
Mm-hmm.
that she would be getting like not equal picks, but like if SmackDown and Raw get so many, like NXT can take these ones and just to
Exactly.
have like a spin or have something kind of provocative happen. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see. I do think that some of these like
Yeah, because like
staple
Caden and Katana didn't get drafted either.
no, they didn't get drafted. There was something else. There was someone that I was like, oh, they are missing. I don't want them to be missing. I
Yeah,
don't
no.
remember who it is
Like,
now. Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. And what's hard too is that these are stories and they're characters, but then there's also this like real world implication of if you don't get drafted and you are in that free agent status, like just history has demonstrated that those folks don't always get included in storylines, and the less you're in a storyline, the less likely you are to continue to have a job in a very long-term way. So it's all very muddled and difficult. Yeah, also Teresa, thank you. What was that? Where are my boys at? That's
uh-oh.
what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand is that if you are eligible to be drafted and you were not drafted, does that mean you remain on your brand? I don't feel like that's the case because then why were they using their picks to keep people on their brand? So I was under the belief this is perhaps a storyline thing that is just like in my mind. Oh, we got excited. Yes, we did see that one.
Yep.
I'm sorry you missed it. You were just right afterwards. You came in just after. There was clapping and everything. I'm embarrassed at my reaction, so that's why I'm
That's
like
right.
in my mind. Sometimes I get nervous about the way things could be clipped, and I'm like, "Oh wow, that's dorky. That's gonna come across very dumb." Like, but I get excited about things. But so I do think that there is. What were we even just talking about?
Just talking about the people that, weren't drafted tonight. And
Oh, the
like,
Creed brothers. I
yeah.
think that there's a storyline piece where eventually the sweet people in the Alpha Academy are going to be replaced by the Creed brothers. Like I do think we see that coming. So I suppose it might be that folks that aren't accounted for in the draft that are otherwise engaged. You know what I mean? There's a path forward. It doesn't mean like just because they didn't shout out their name, but
Right.
it's just interesting. It's interesting which names were showcased in that way, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Especially when you have names for there were so many draft picks that stayed on their own brand. So it's like, that's why it made it so very selective on the names that were announced. Like the Creed brothers, who were just like literally a couple weeks ago, or I mean, a little bit before WrestleMania, fighting for tag titles.
Right.
So weird that they go from that to not even being included in the draft. So we'll see. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that maybe there's like I forget what the rounds are called in MLB and NFL that are like the extra rounds. I forget what they're called, but hopefully we get that, and maybe that's how NXT gets some people, and that's how we get a couple, Creed Brothers finally announced in Kate and Katana. So,
yes.
well, nonetheless, to kind of summarize, night 2 lapped night 1 in terms of excitement for the draft. Because night 1, I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that was my first response. Like, it was a complete waste. And I thought, okay, so they literally just announced a draft just to get our excitements and get eyes on the television. So tonight,
Think of the
at least,
SEO of people typing in draft.
yeah, like
Yeah,
at least tonight took that thought out of my mind. There's
that's
a lot
good.
of changes.
That was changes. Also, one of my favorite people on planet Earth, and I don't know if this is something I'm not supposed to say publicly or not, but I will say, I'm pretty confident that as a fellow member of the Sketchy Parents Society, I love to see Stephanie McMahon. And I do know that you definitely can judge a person by a lot of things, but you can't necessarily judge them by the actions of their father. So,
Right.
I like it when we see her, and I got excited that she was there to announce some draft picks. Yeah, long-standing Stephanie McMahon stan. So I always get excited when the boss's daughter rolls around. I was looking into it because I remember that back in the day, I thought she had a T-shirt, but it was like almost before the internet. Like I couldn't remember like where would I have bought a wrestling T-shirt back then, and I was trying to think of it, and then I was searching on eBay. And like the amount of money that people get for random vintage tees, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go in the basement. Like I probably have something going on.
You could
But
be
yeah,
rich
I
right now.
definitely, yes, and she does still look beautiful. She does.
Yes.
She looks so good. This is just,
Stephanie
let's
looks great.
detour on Stephanie McMahon, but she has aged so beautifully. She's aged so gracefully.
Yeah.
She's someone who we've watched grow up, but also has obviously not fallen victim to having like a lot of work done, because she looks beautiful and natural and not like a weirdo at all. And I do think that once you kind of, I think women of affluence can end up accidentally all looking like the same pillow face due to their ability to share popular plastic surgeons. And I'd never get that sense from her. I think she's beautiful, natural, wonderful woman. 100%. And everyone, it seems, had a crush on her. So that's good. That's good to know. We're all in a club together. I wanted so desperately to, my goal as a child was, I read in some kind of WWF magazine or something that she was like in charge of the writers, and I always wanted to work for Stephanie McMahon. I wanted to be a writer on WWE, but I wanted to specifically work for Stephanie McMahon. And that was like, I'm gonna do it. Like somehow I'm gonna do it. And so yeah, that close, right? You shoot for the moon and you
Wrestle Talk, Stephanie McMahon.
And you land amongst the stars. I'm here with you, besties, and that's what matters. We just had such a fun night. There's so many things going on. Yeah, I don't know. What else is there to discuss? Did you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, there was, to quote you, there was wrestling.
There was wrestling.
There was wrestling, we promise.
There's a dash.
But before we get to that, though, one more thing I wanted to mention that's kind of draft related, but not really. We got a standoff tonight between a new Raw draftee. That was one of my highlights as well. So Sheamus and Braun Breaker, new Monday Night Raw superstar. So we got Braun Breaker. So I'm ready. Sheamus, Braun Breaker. Can we get that next week, please? I'm assuming we're getting it. I'm assuming we're getting it next week. So fingers crossed on that. But like, very excited about that. That was definitely a top moment for me. Definitely excited about having Braun Breaker on Raw as well. So that's why I said I think Raw won. I think if we're picking in terms of what the brand needed the most, I feel like Raw improved in areas that they needed to improve more than SmackDown.
Agreed. Like overall, you could be, I'm excited about SmackDown, but it wasn't. Raw felt like it's calculated improvements that will also make the show enjoyable and watchable, not necessarily just like, oh, cool, that guy's there. Like, there's a lot of depth here. I'm not necessarily super duper. I would say my least best is I don't want to deal with Dominic and Ray for like back and forth, but because
I know we got it again.
I guess it'll be okay. Like, I don't think that that's the only thing that's gonna happen. And if it's just in passing insults, I'm okay with it. Like, just,
Yeah.
the way that, what I have appreciated about the whole arc between all of these factions is that they talk about family, but then they're also really nasty to each other. And
Yeah.
I do feel like if you are from a Latino culture, you understand that that's very much Mi Familia is also like there's a bullying factor that goes on within the families of origin. So if it's just Ray basically throwing verbal chanclas at Dominic as he walks by all the time, I'm okay with that. But I just don't really have any desire to see them have like a feud again. Now I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm hoping tonight was just a welcoming LWO.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I did love though, although it was corny. I love the part where Ray's like, "What's that on your lip?"
Yes.
Like so definitely something a dad would say after they haven't
Yes.
seen their son in a while. So
Yes.
perfect back and forth there.
It
Talking
was
about
fun.
Dom's mustache. So I did love that part, but Raw's gonna get exciting here real soon. I'm excited. I know everything's official next Monday, so we'll get a good gauge on where all these new superstars fit in. But we came out on top tonight. I'm with it.
I'm excited. It's like a fun reset. So that's good. Okay, there was wrestling. I do think that the main event was quite enjoyable. I still don't understand. Do you think that JD McDonagh's face really looked like that? Like, did he really? Oh no. Okay.
No.
See, I get worked so easily that I always go like,
you believe that he got knocked by the
well, no,
Super
I just
Bowl rings?
believed like there could be potentially abrasions on his face. I don't think he like I don't know, but the amount of them seemed like too many. Like it seemed like there was
pretty
three
big
distinct
though.
ones.
They're pretty big rings. Like they
are pretty big rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I want to know. I want to see a picture of it tomorrow. I do want to see it tomorrow. Like, is there gonna be
got a
three
big knot on his head? Poor JD, man. Good lord.
The big head and like the telestrator, he's like right on his big head.
Poor guy.
Oh god. It was pretty good. So I think an unlikely alliance that formed that kind of paid off later was that you saw like Logan Paul almost join forces ish with Finn Balor and JD McDonagh. And then as I was writing it up, like as I was writing the article, it occurred to me that it's more like a backlash alliance because he's going against Damian Priest. But I did think that for a hot second, I was like, oh, you know what? Like these expressive heels being friends with each other is the coolest Scooby-Doo moment. Like I loved the visual of after. So there's a lot of shenanigans. If you didn't see it, there were sports ball people there. A famous one is the quarterback, and I wrote about him a lot, and I know that his wife is beautiful, but his name is Patrick Mahomes. Is that right?
Yes.
His wife's name's Brittany, right?
You got it. Yes.
She's pretty. Okay. I always know the wives. I'll know the wags before I know the players. Let me tell you a story. But so he was there in the front row, and I think he should have. I think it should have required more encouragement for him to give up the rings. I feel like he didn't sell it enough. But okay, that's all right, Patrick Mahomes. We'll get you next time.
You know what? You're right. He was a little willing to give away those Super Bowl rings.
He just handed them over.
Yeah.
Like Logan Paul, I don't even feel like they had a moment where Logan Paul asked for them. I feel like he just walked up to him and Patrick Mahomes was taking them off.
Look, bro, I just met you. I'm not handing over.
I'm not gonna give you all three of my Super Bowl rings. Who are you? Like, I don't know, man. But so I don't know. That was a bit iffy. But so there was a lot of things. No, I don't know. A new Tom Brady. Is that real? Okay, I don't know. I don't know a lot about football. You know what? Russell Wilson left and broke my heart. You know who really broke my heart?
Who's that?
Marshawn Lynch. Thank you. So tell your cousin-in-law if he wants to start playing again, in my hometown. Although he did go on to have a good success in Oakland after leaving here. So that's probably for the best. I would have left here too if never mind. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about the Seahawks Super Bowl loss, okay? Where they threw it instead of running.
Gave it away.
That's not what Besties is about. Patrick Mahomes is the new Tom Brady. Anyway, and then also those better not be the real rings. Oh, where did that one go? I kind of agreed. I was like, are those the real ones? Like, this guy's just taking off the real ones and handing them over. So Logan Paul goes to punch Jay with the Super Bowl rings. Instead, he hits JD McDonagh in his big head, knocks him to the ground. They have a very beautiful production moment that I swear was designed for the telestrator to occur because it was just in slow motion, like such Scooby-Doo faces. It was so beautiful. JD's on the ground and Finn and Jay and Logan Paul are all like mugging Riley right into the camera. It was so good. Then they end up kind of like Jay pops in the middle and just yells yeet, which is also very adorable and fun. Is there breaking news? I saw you refresh it.
No, I'm just keeping an eye.
Keeping an eye. That's good. I got excited though for a second. I got excited. So there is then like another little exchange, but then the just drafted back to Raw, right? We get him? Oh, good. The monster among men, Braun Strowman, comes on out and is there to help Jay. And then, there's like a little bit more football fracas and Jay kind of pulls him away. But what I took that to mean was that Braun Strowman is definitely coming back babyface, which I thought was like kind of interesting because I don't know why I assumed he was going to be involved in the spooky stuff. And I don't think the spooky stuff is supposed to be necessarily like good guys.
Yeah.
I think it's going to ride the line, but I don't think
when he left, he was babyface. So
he was.
Yeah,
he really was. So that makes sense.
To me wasn't that exciting because he was technically already Raw. So that one was another one where I was like, because he came with Ricochet last year. So I was like, eh.
And then, in my article, I looked up, like, when's the last time I saw Braun Strowman? Like, when was his last match? And it was May 1st of last year on a draft episode of Raw.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, like, my brain couldn't compute because it hasn't seemed like a full year, but, like, truly, that's a whole year. That's a long time. It's a long time to be out of action. It's very exciting. I'm glad he's back. I kind of wanted him to be with something that he would have like a little more depth of character, but I guess also not everyone needs depth of character. If you're 6'8" and you're a big old boy, maybe your character is big old boy.
Yep.
Doesn't need to be a lot
deeper.
That's
your character. You're a big dude.
You're a big one.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Gonna knock them around and you'll be friends with other guys because you're a nice guy.
Yeah, I think to take away, because like I think the best match, because there wasn't, like you said, there wasn't a lot of matches tonight. So like that was a highlight too, and that wasn't even a match. Like that was just like altercation. Really, that's all that was. But that was still one of the most memorable moments tonight. I guess if I was to pick my favorite match tonight, I really did enjoy the Intercontinental title match. I did enjoy that. And although the ending was predictable, you knew Chad Gable, especially after Sami Zayn kicked him backstage. It was coming. Chad Gable interrupting the match, disqualification. No, but I loved at the end of it, after he makes puts Sami in the ankle lock, and then Bronson Reed does his splash. I forget what it's called, but does his splash. You know what I'm talking about. And then, Chad Gable, and then he slams Chad Gable as well. And then Bronson Reed holds the belt up. I think we might be going towards a triple threat, maybe, instead of just Chad and Sami straight up, which I think this is a different angle. It's pretty exciting to see, because you thought it would just be one-on-one again, Sami Zayn and Chad Gable running back. But I think instead we're getting a triple threat, and that was a little exciting. I think that was my favorite match and part, beside the draft tonight.
Yeah. I always forget that too.
Tsunami.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
There was also a fairly short who was in that match? It was Candice LeRae against Maxine, right?
Yeah.
So it was sort of like, so Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, and DIY are all drafted to SmackDown.
They're all gone.
I saw Grayson Waller already called them hobbits, which I thought was pretty funny. So I hope that continues, because I do think Grayson Waller and Johnny Gargano had like some of the most intense feuding. Like that was some funny. It probably shouldn't have been funny to me, but like that, their whole battle at his house was like
that was awesome.
Television. Like that was something I thought was very fun from that time period in NXT. Anyhow, so they're all headed out, but it was a last chance for retribution for Maxine. I do think that she got a good ankle lock in. I mean, she didn't win though, right?
No,
she did
that's all Gable cares about. So yeah, we'll see.
We'll see how that goes. Hey there. That is very astute observation.
See, I don't think so.
I would like Austin Theory.
I really think they're running
for himself.
I think they are running away with this A-Town Down Under thing. Like these dudes are like appearing on shows.
They are so cute together.
They're working great together. I think they are running away with that. I think they've knocked it out of the park with those two. I think they're teasing the fact they're still undefeated. They haven't lost.
That's true. I hope they just have a feud with DIY, and then they also just like the whole time they just never address it. That's something that I think is fun about WWE. Is that there are sometimes these things that are just like, okay,
that's one of them.
We'll just forget that.
I was kind of upset although I'm not the biggest DIY fan, I was kind of sad to see them go.
I'm a little sad to see them go.
Yeah, because like we got tag titles on both shows now, so like
I don't know.
Kind of excited to see, but maybe they got tired of seeing them facing the same tag teams on Raw and go to SmackDown and face some new teams.
I think there's probably more yet to shake out about which tag teams stick with Raw, because there is a dismal number at this point. Like if you look at just the drafted folks, it's like next to no. Like I can't even think of, other than Judgment Day, I guess, and the champions. So Austin Truth and Judgment Day can just have feuds 5,000.
We did get a Final Testament.
Oh, that's right.
Monday Night Raw.
That's kind of exciting as well.
It is.
I
thought they were going to NXT.
I kind of thought so as well.
Yeah.
I'm looking the title match tomorrow. They can do, though.
They got the title match tomorrow, so I guess we know the result of that.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, we got
I'm not excited by Naxium, to be honest. So I always forget that they exist. Like when I think about it, who's the tag titles from NXT? Like,
you don't like Axiom?
No, listen, I like Axiom and I like Nathan Frazier, but Naxium is very forgettable to me. Gotcha. And I don't know why it's like doesn't stick with me, as like I forget they exist as a team, but gotcha. I think both of them are really exceptional on their own. I also think that's something that WWE and AEW both fail in, is identifying which men should not be masked, because there is no actual reason for Axiom to be wearing a mask. That's a handsome man under there. Go Google that. A-Kid is a handsome man. There's no reason for that. So they need to get that under control. If he gets called up, take the mask off. I don't think does he like that gimmick? I don't know if that's like something he's committed to.
I don't know. I mean, I got to meet him once at a house show at NXT. He took a picture with my son. He was my son's favorite wrestler. So like, I mean, I think he enjoys, I think that's his audience, to be honest. He's big with the kids. He's like a superhero type. Yeah. I think he enjoys it. I think he really does. He does seem to really enjoy it.
The pair of them together, if you think of it as more of like comic book characters, like maybe I'm not viewing it through the right lens, because thinking of them as like superhero figures makes them much more compelling.
It does.
So that's something. That is something. There's something to that. Okay, well, what's going on over here? What's going on in the chat?
I want to know a little bit more.
The kids have taste. The kids like the fun things. The kids like the over-the-top stuff that we all do like as well, but we're embarrassed to say we like. Like the Cody Crybabies. I feel like that's why the kids like Cody. Everyone's bracelet thing is fun now because I feel like the bracelets are exploding. So Cody had bracelets on Monday. Then I saw CM Punk had bracelets. I saw Max Caster posted on Instagram that someone gave him bracelets. So he's also the best wrestler. It's just very
my worst from tonight. I forgot
yes.
about that almost.
Oh, your least best.
Somebody just messaged me directly and said your worst. I haven't said that yet. My worst tonight was Gunther Xavier Woods. Can we stop with New Day and Imperium, please? Like, my goodness. Like,
you know what's funny is
it's reached the, like, you know, like we got rid of the Pride versus Final Testament finally.
Yeah.
That's over. LWO Legato's over. Can we stop New Day and Imperium?
Yeah, that's
like,
the last
when is
one
the last time they didn't face each other? I am over it.
I thought that they would not continue after in the in-ring segment, and I guess it was last week. I feel like even I don't remember if it was Kofi and Xavier Woods, but I feel like both of them were like, no, not again. Like verbalized, not again. Because I was like, yeah, not again.
Exactly.
So it was difficult. Yeah.
I am over it. Yeah. It's to the point where like we've gotten each, like, you have either had Kaiser against Kofi, Kaiser against Xavier, Vinci versus either one, Gunther versus either one, or both. Like, it's just like at this point, what are we doing? Like,
when is King of the Ring? Next month?
They haven't announced yet. They haven't even announced. I think it's supposed to.
It's in Jeddah. And I don't know if there's a date, but I know it's in Jeddah because I have a harder time spelling Riyadh than Jeddah. So I was excited. And I thought there was a date though, but there may not be. I don't know. But I do know that I think that some of this is like trying to build intrigue in typically people who
May 25th.
Only a month?
Yeah, May 25th.
Oh, okay.
So we got to move quickly. It's got to be Gunther, right? I mean,
I think that's the only reason why we're keeping all these like random, like having Woods more of a single situation. I think like that's the spirit of it, but I don't think that it needed. I guess if you only have 4 weeks though, in my mind, I was like, can't you wait for like 2 weeks to have this? Because we just spent how many months on the same sets of matches? Like,
right.
That is a lot. That is a lot. I see you. I see you. I see you and I appreciate you more than you know. My self-esteem bucket needs all the increases it can. If there's duct tape, if you know anyone who sells what's that stuff? The whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I always think it's the magic bumper, but that's the stuff that Tony Khan's dad invented. So I get everything turned around and like just get it all messed up. I don't know what. Okay. So I don't think any more have been announced, but I'm not too sure.
No, I haven't seen anything else. Dijak is the only. Yeah. So Corey Brennan of Fightful, who I've been pretty much following, he's been on it. Shout out to him, by the way.
Yes.
Corey Brennan of Fightful is my go-to for any NXT news. Yes. I am perfectly fine with sharing that. He is all over it. But he says that there are no more NXT announcements for the draft. No more NXT on the main roster.
My Fallon Henley.
NXT Women's North American Champion.
Oh, that's true. I mean, there is that new there's things going on in NXT. There's a lot happening there. I just also I don't know if anyone else does. Anyone else watch Level Up? Like I watch Level Up every week.
I do too.
And I think that there is some really like you think NXT is thick now. There are a lot of things coming in the future. Like there's some pretty compelling characters that I don't even think have hit very much TV yet. I feel like I'm surprised they didn't just zip that Javon Evans, to be honest. Like Lucky Ali is his independent name, but he's already so over in NXT, like to the point that he has his own chance. Like he's appeared very few times. Like
just had a banger with Ilya before he left.
So good. That was a very, very good match. So there's a lot of fun things.
Trying to go through all the picks tonight before just to recap everyone. So from tonight, Round 1, Raw got Imperium, Damage Control, CM Punk, Braun Strowman, LWO, Drew McIntyre, Judgment Day, Ilya Dragunov, New Day, Lyra Valkyria, Final Testament, and Bronson Reed were the draft picks for Raw tonight. Just to catch everyone up in case you missed it. Exciting times for Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah. Good stuff. It was a good show.
It was.
So we got Backlash this weekend. We'll see what happens with that. What time is it for you? What time is it for you? Backlash.
12:30 for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch it after because that is my daughter's birthday and we are turning up.
Oh, exciting. Oh,
turning
happy birthday.
Day.
Oh.
Yeah, we're excited. So we're doing the whole birthday thing. I'm the guest DJ by default. Yes. So I'll watch it after.
That's exciting. What's the theme?
She picked beach theme.
Ooh, that's fun.
Makes no sense. We live in Indiana, but hey, look.
Oh,
she's
11. I like it.
She's 11. Do your thing.
Yes. Yes. Also, it's not like it's May. Oh, May 4th is her birthday. Yeah. Oh, what a cute birthday. Oh my gosh. Well, happy birthday to her. So exciting. Say happy birthday in the chat. That's what you should. Yes. Happy birthday, Princess DC. Yes. So excited. Oh my God. That's adorable.
Love that. She watches these, so she'll love that.
Oh, that's so good. Hi. My kids, my kid, I'm not even gonna say it. The other day, never mind. My kids have a confusing relationship with the thumbnails now that have my face on them. So one day it worked out really well where they saw Selena. And my daughter was like, I'm like, oh my God, does she think I'm Selena? It's so exciting. She was like, Mommy, you know what I mean? She had like a mommy moment. And then another day she did it. It was that TikTok lawyer woman, like Jeanette Braun, who like is in some drama, but it's like, it doesn't look like Mommy at all. And I was like, I fell so far. Like from 1 week I'm Selena, the next week I'm this TikTok lawyer woman. Like, come on, this is ridiculous. Okay, so happy birthday. Definitely happy birthday, Princess DC. That's very exciting.
Thank you.
Well, we can just wrap it up. Besties, I am so excited you are here. You are so special and you are so loved and you are so wanted that if we could draft all of you, we would draft you to be besties. And this is the first round draft picks. If you're in the chat right now, if it's Jeff, if you're MD, if you're Teresa, if you're anybody else that I forgot, hold on, let me make sure I'm not doing anything. I got the besties, right? The standard bet. Omar is usually floating around. Omar's not in the chat, but you might be watching later. Just anybody who's taken the time to support us. We really, really appreciate you. But also, we just hope that you're doing well and you hang in there because no matter what, there's a brighter day tomorrow. You can't get to the palace until you get out of the pit. You know what I'm saying? So we're just going to all keep climbing together. We're just going to keep swimming. And we'll be back here next week. After Backlash, we might have a new champion. I hope so, personally. I would think it was really, I think main event Jey Uso is the tops. But I also think Damian Priest's been doing a great job, so we'll have to see. Yeah, motivational speaker. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. Thank you very much. We had so much fun with you. Let us know. Share this with your friends. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Send in some body slam chats to slamchats. What the fuck? I'm going to write a sticky. I don't know why I cannot learn it. And then down here it says BodySlamNet. So I always want to say BodySlam.net. But that's like the website. That's not the slamchats.com. Go to slamchats.com to simply.
There it is. Woo!
Yes, you can follow DC everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Follow Amanda. Yeah.
What?
I told him to follow you. Follow Amanda. She's more exciting.
Honestly, weird. Weird is the answer, but that's okay. We're all a little bit weird, besties, and that's why we're here together. This is always a blooper reel. Every time I open my mouth is a blooper reel. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I'll let you go. It's late in the night. I'm not going to crack another monster. That's a bad idea. It is after 9 p.m. But you guys take good care. Be well. Have a good week. And we'll see you soon. Bye,
Peace and love, everybody.
besties.